y'all. You're not going to hear that too many more times because we're almost done with the conference. Oh, hello, Flor. Well, come on up, would you please? Listen, we have an incredible keynote for you, and I'm just about to welcome her to the stage. But one of our founding board members has a special announcement. Just one moment.
Thank you. How's everybody doing? Well, just want to let you know that 27 years ago, I was in the hospital with a cesarean. My son had been born, and my son is here today. And when I ask you all to please help me sing happy birthday to him. Yes.
His name?
Richard Redondo Martinez. Come on up.
Okay, fantastic. Is he making his way?
Yeah, he's right here.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear.
Happy birthday to you.
You're welcome. The CHW and Promotor legacy continues because he is a CHW. Thank you for letting us take part in that celebration. If anyone else celebrating birthdays this week, a very happy birthday to you. Yes, so I have the great honor of introducing our keynote for day 2 of the 2023 Unity Conference. Celines Colon was born and raised in Barranquitas, Puerto Rico. She is a passionate woman who greatly enjoys her role as a mother and wife. For Celines, her family is her greatest motivation and the most important thing in her life. Celines is the author of best-selling books such as The Key to Success, The 7 R's of Transformation, and 17 Essential Pillars of Leadership. She is the founder and CEO of Mujeres Latinas de Impacto Global, an organization dedicated to the development of leadership and personal growth for the empowerment of Latina women. All women, I believe, can benefit from her, as they will today. Her mission is to help each woman maximize her potential and fulfill the purpose for which she was designed. That's what I'm talking about. On October 28th, 2022, in the city of Chicago, she was awarded the honorary title of Doctor Honoris Causa in recognition of her outstanding work in education, leadership in social service, values, and sustainable development for the benefit of the country and humanity. That is amazing. I love to know such excellence is in our community. From a young age, she has loved serving and helping others. Her faith is always in God, and she lives in constant gratitude to Him. She earned her bachelor's degree in business administration from Northeastern Illinois University in Chicago, Illinois. She is also certified as a professional life coach and a certified trainer, teacher, and speaker by John C. Maxwell's team. Additionally, she is a business owner with over 25 years of experience in professional sales. As an entrepreneurial and bicultural woman, she is passionate about helping individuals and organizations develop their leadership skills. Celines has directly and indirectly trained and developed thousands of individuals globally. Through her trainings, people have been able to understand how personal growth truly works and how it makes human beings more effective and efficient in both their personal and professional lives. In her journey, she has discovered that most people long to live up to their full potential, but struggle to find ways to achieve that desire. This author has developed courses, conferences, mastermind programs, seminars, and workshops on sales, leadership, and personal growth. She emphasizes the truth that every human being is equipped with the tools, skills, and talents necessary to achieve whatever they set out to do in life, as long as they keep their gaze fixed forward and adopt a positive attitude. Celines not only shares knowledge and experiences that nurture and equip each reader in her books, but also spreads some of her inspiring phrases. One of her most heartfelt expressions relates to the importance of finding a true purpose in life, and it states the following: when you know yourself and believe in yourself, wonderful things begin to happen. This phrase highlights the importance of discovering and developing one's natural gifts and talents, and what happens as a result of this act of recognition. One becomes a passionate, autonomous, and unstoppable person. Celines emphasizes that God has equipped all of us to succeed and be happy in life, and that it is important for every human being to remember that greatness resides within everyone. Each person already possesses the key to success, and all we have to do is trust and believe in ourselves. How many times have you said that to someone else, but not to yourself? This is about you today. This is not about you grabbing something for someone else. This is for you to understand the greatness inside of you. Finally, Celines reminds us to give ourselves the opportunity to be happy. She states that happiness is a right enjoyed by all human beings. And although we may not always claim it as our own, it is there waiting for us to reach it. Live your dreams, share your passion, and leave your mark along your journey. Would you please welcome to the stage my friend and colleague, Celines Colon.
Thank you. How you doing today? Are you ready to love? Yes. Are you ready to learn? Yes. Are you ready to lead? Yes. I am ready. Before I start my presentation, I would like to play a classic game with you today. How many of you are familiar with Simon Says? Raise your hand. If you're not familiar, all you need to do is what Simon says. If I use the name Simon, you do it. If I don't say Simon, you don't do it. That's fine? Yes. Okay, let's play. Simon said to stand up, please. Simon says to touch your nose. Now, sit back down. Oh, Simon didn't say that. Simon says to face the person to your right and say, I am so happy you came today. Simon says to face the person to your left and say, you are a great leader. Now, Simon says to face me and say, I am a great leader. Simon says to say, I am capable of great things. Simon says you could have a seat. Today, I want to talk to you about the importance of being a vitamin leader instead of a toxic one. Let me ask you first, how many of you believe that words have power? How many of you believe that once spoken, you cannot take them back? How many of you believe The words are not carried away by the wind. How many of you believe the words can build or destroy? Many years ago, I used to work for this company, which I loved very much. But unfortunately, I had a bad leader. I want to call him the toxic leader. The way he used to communicate with me, it was very disrespectful. I couldn't understand why someone could come to work every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it's Saturday, being so miserable. To my understanding, being kind costs zero. This person used to humiliate me. He used to yell at me. He used to make me feel like I was worth nothing. Unfortunately, a lot of people complain about this manager, but somehow he got away with everything. He was still there. One day, on my way to dropping my daughter to school, we had the habit to pray every single morning. And I asked my daughter that day, she was 9 at that time, she's 21 right now, and I said to my daughter, can you ask God to give me a confirmation whether I should leave my job or I should just stay there? She says, Mom, what other confirmation do you need? Your manager disrespects you? You're not happy anymore? And on top of that, Mom, you are getting sick. You see, what you don't know is that those words that he used to speak to me destroy my self-esteem. And despite that I was one of the top 10% in the company, he was really destroying my self-esteem. Not only that, my potential. I couldn't understand that. When my daughter replied to me like that, I knew I needed to do something. My grandfather used to say, if you see something you don't like, don't think about it, don't talk about it, do something about it. I knew I needed to do something. Today's day, I help company to develop potential leaders. But on top of that, I needed to make the decision whether to stay in that company or just to leave. Guess what? I decided to quit my job. It was a tough decision. You know why? Because at that time, I was a single mom. I needed my job. I didn't have no one else to support me financially. It was very tough. Plus, I didn't want to go through the process or another job interview, and I was afraid to find another toxic leader. See, we were created to do good things in this earth. One day, we all gonna die. And I'm gonna tell you something, you're not taking anything with you. Most of the people believe that leadership is about position, title, and power. No, it's not about all of that. John Maxwell says, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And I wanted to add that leadership is about adding value to people. Mother Teresa says, do not let anyone come into your life without living better and happier. That is the responsibility we have. Today, our topic is the workforce we need for the world we want. We need you. And today, I'm going to talk to you about the 7 types of toxic leaders. And if you believe that you identify yourself with one of them, I'm going to ask you today to please take time to reflect if you want to become a vitamin leader. I was reading this article that from the Pew Research Center, they conducted a survey. And in that survey, they found the majority of people in 2021, they quit their job for 4 main reasons. Reason number 1, low pay, 63%. Reason number 2, lack of opportunity for advancement, 63%. Now, this one really touched my heart. Feeling disrespected. 57% of the people. Number 4, child care challenges. 48%. Now, let's think about it. If I say right now, 57% of the people in this room stand up, think about how many people is that. Do you think that's a lot of people? This survey was conducted not too long ago, 2021. People quitting because they feel disrespected? Do you think that should be a reason? No. I can understand if someone say, I will leave because I have a better opportunity. But leaving a job because you feel disrespected, that's what happened to me. I have to quit my job because I felt disrespected. I didn't feel appreciated. I didn't feel valuable. See, a lot of people believe that because you get paid, you get a check, you must do certain things. We have to treat people with love and respect. John Maxwell says, I don't care. He said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. See, we're going to talk about those toxic leaders today. And I want to tell you, I'm going to invite my friend Mercedes here, please, my friend. I'm going to show you from now on that before you say words, anything that comes out from your mouth, I want you to think about it. Because let me tell you something, words have power. We already talked about it. We said they either could build you or destroy you, right? I'm going to illustrate the power of words, okay? So I'm going to take a piece of paper and I'm going to pretend I am the employee and Miss Mercedes, she is the leader. But we could call her the boss if you want, okay? So she's the boss. Let's just call her boss, okay? And Mercedes, I'm going to move maybe, well, I could stay here. What I'm going to do, let's pretend that Mercedes is having a bad day. She is not in a good mood, and I'm writing a proposal, and this proposal needs to be signed today. It needs to be submitted, but I cannot submit this proposal until she reads it and approves it, okay? I don't know she's having a bad day. I don't know that. I cannot read that. So I'm doing my job as an employee. I am not responsible for her attitude, right? Okay, so I'm going to come to her office, and I'm going to say, hi, Miss Mercedes, I already have the proposal ready for you. Would you mind just reviewing it and see if it's perfect?
You again? Why are you bothering me? I don't have time for you. Honey, it doesn't matter how good you think it is. It's never going to be good enough. You're not that bright, honey. I've told you many times, I don't even know who hired you.
Let's pretend 15 minutes passed by. And Miss Mercedes, she thinks she made a mistake. But this is a behavior that she constantly do. This is something she always do. It's not the first time she does this. But then, this is what she does.
Oh, how you doing? Oh, there. How you doing today? You doing good? Okay, hey, I just want to apologize. I know I do this to you often, but I was having a bad day, and I know you're valuable. We couldn't do without you. So I hope I can read the proposal, we can get it signed, and we can send it on?
Yes.
Okay, let's do this.
Does this paper look to you in the original state? Think about this is your heart. Think about this is your self-esteem. Think about this is your potential. See, once you speak your words, you cannot take them back. And people don't understand the damage that your word causes to people. A lot of people are so used to say bad things, and then they think that saying, I'm sorry, I apologize, that's enough. It's not. I was talking to my husband the other day, and a lot of people say, I don't understand. I could do 100,000 things good, and if I do one bad thing, that's what people remember. You know why? Because when you do good to people, you don't damage them. But when you do something bad, you're leaving a scar that hurts. Of course they're going to remember. See, the way she spoke to me destroyed me. I don't look the same, do I? No. That's the power of the words. Thank you, Mercedes. So today, based on my experience, I want to now illustrate to you the 7 types of toxic leaders. Let me tell you, there are so much more than 7. I'm just going to talk about the most common one. And I'm going to share this with you because this is what I have been living for so many years. And that's the reason why I left. I want you to know that people do not quit bad companies. They quit bad leaders. When people quit, they are quitting on you. And sometimes I say, they don't quit, they fire you. Because when they say it's enough, it's enough. Why do we need people to quit? When we can develop them. You know, you become like a family member at work. You know how many hours you spend at work? Sometimes the people that you see smiling, sometimes you don't know what they're going through. Many times they don't talk about their pain. Some people are dealing with health issues, financial issues, relationship issues, divorce. Sometimes you don't know. The last thing they need is a leader to destroy the work environment. Sometimes we don't know what's going on in the heart. Imagine if I'm having a bad day at home, and if I could come and my leader, my boss could just treat me well and make me feel like home. That's going to help me. That's going to help me relieve a little bit of the emotional pain I'm going through. As leaders, we have a responsibility. And the moment you decided to be a leader, you have a commitment. It's like when you marry. See, a lot of people, they marry and they believe that it's just one person's responsibility. Sometimes it's a 50-50. No, it's 100% each. When you decide to be a leader, you made a commitment to do what Mother Teresa said. She said that we have the responsibility to leave these people what? Better and happier. In a minute, I'm going to be illustrating this toxic leader. And this is a recipe that I was planning to put on sale. I was thinking maybe I should sell it at the end of my presentation. But I realized that it might not be a very popular product. Maybe a lot of people would not be interested. So for that reason, I decided not to sell it. But if you're interested in this recipe, you let me know at the end. So I'm going to go behind here, and I'm going to be presenting the 7 types of leaders, okay? The first one, I'm going to jump that because I already talked about that. The arrogant leader. This type of leader is someone that believes he knows everything. Nobody knows more than him or her. He's always right. He blames all the people when he is wrong. If you have an idea, most of the time, he will not accept it because he always wants to be right. He's the one that knows everything. He feels superior. These arrogant leaders, usually, it's like they add lemon juice into the life. You know how some people call them too? I heard this Colombiana, she told me one time. She said, tienen cara de limón chupado, así. They call it the face of sour lemon. You know how that is? When you just take a lemon, how do you do? Let me see that face. Let me see, how do you do? Yeah, like that, right? So this is what they do. Now, let's talk about the other leader. It's called and we're calling this toxic leaders, okay? The bitter leader. They have another name. It calls cranky cucumber commander, okay? This type of leaders, they are not happy. They don't know how to enjoy life. Let me tell you, life is so beautiful. Sometimes I don't understand how people don't enjoy life. Life is never going to be easy. Life is like the stock market, goes up and down, up and down. You know, Les Brown, one time he said, it's not that life is not long enough or we don't have enough time to live. He said sometimes it takes people some time to learn how to live life. We need to learn how to live life, to understand that everyone in this earth have problems. But if you cannot change your problem, focus on the solution and do the best you can and learn one day at a time. One day at a time. Again, I'm going to remind you, one day we're all going to die. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to get to 75, 80 years and look back and say, wow, I never took advantage of the opportunity that God gave me to leave this earth because I wasted my time giving power to people that didn't bring anything positive in me. We cannot give power to the bitter leaders. And this is what I'm going to tell you today. If you are one of these leaders, I'm going to ask you, find help, professional help. Because in order for us to lead other people, we must learn how to lead ourselves. And the best way we can lead people is not with words, but with actions. Bitter leaders, they do not enjoy life. They are very hard to approach. You want to talk to them, but you are afraid because you don't know how they're going to respond. Most of the time, this type of leaders, they add apple cider vinegar to their lives. Now we have the crabby bossman, the angry leader. This type of leaders, they do not know how to control the emotions. They react. They don't think. This is a type of leader like the one that Mercedes was showing, the one that speak but don't think. This type of people create a very unhealthy and toxic work environment. They're very hard to talk to them. They limit the potential of their people, productivity, and communication is very bad. It's hard to talk to them and connect with them. This angry leader is like they add hot sauce to the recipe. Then we have, sorry for that. Can I go back? I just went, can I go one back? I don't have that in here. Oh, I got it here. Sorry, guys. There you go. Then we have the impatient leader. Those leaders that it doesn't matter if the information is relevant or not, they want it now. See, the problem with this type of leaders is that when you are working, you're trying to do your best, but they'll keep rushing you. You know what they do? They create an environment that is frustrated. Who can focus like that? How can you work in a job when you have someone that micromanages you, that is constantly on top of you, and you're trying to do your best, but they want everything now? Did you finish? And I can't work like that if someone is rushing me. People cannot concentrate and do their best. See, the job of a leader is to trust his people. You got to trust them. And you got to work with them, not against them. The impatient leader, you know what they do? They add baking soda to their lives. You see how this bubble? They make a lot of people blood bubbles too. You see this? Can you see how this bubble? I hope I don't do like an explosion in here with us. This is the impatient leader. We have the depressing leader. This one lacks motivation. This person is always sad. The environment is like no one wants to go there. Instead of creating inspiration environment, you feel like you're going to a funeral or something like that is dead. They lose interest. Productivity is slow. They act like victims. They believe that they have it against that person. They feel self-pity, poor of me. I'm trying to do my best, but they don't appreciate me. They're always talking about themselves. They're always depressed. Unfortunately, this type of people relying on what? Wine. They need wine. Yeah, to deal with that. I'm not talking about the ones that drink sometimes wine, okay? I like wine too. But these people just drink a lot of wine because that's the best way they could try to get all those emotions that they have inside. Now, we have the workaholic leader. Uh-oh, I could hear some voices there. Working a lot is not a problem. But when you become obsessive with work and you don't know how to set a boundary line, and you just go home and you're still working, and your husband or your wife and your kids are waiting for you at least to sit down on that table, you're still working. You don't know how to set a deadline to finish your work. It doesn't seem like it ever ends. And you work and work and work and work and work, and you don't set those boundaries, guess what? You're going to become overwhelmed. You're going to become tired. You're not going to be able to think clearly. The worst is that some of these leaders, they expect that some of his or her employees continue also working at home. They will keep calling, hey, can you do this for me? We need to get this tomorrow. Can you just finish it tonight? Oh, but tonight I have a meeting with my husband and my kids. We need to finish this. I'm working right now. I need you to get to the computer. This is after you are out of the clock. I had a boss one time like that. I remember it was 11 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning. She had 3 kids, and she was still in the office. Every day like that. Her marriage was coming down. She was missing the most important moments of her kids' life. I'm not saying give your best to your job. Yes, always do. But please learn how to organize yourself. Don't procrastinate. Many times, people become overloaded with work because they procrastinate. They don't have a plan. That's the reason why they become like that. They like to work under pressure, and then they expect people to work in the same speed that they do work. But it does not work like that. We need to learn how to set healthy boundaries so we could have a work-life balance. Do you follow me? This is important because we need you. We need you to be a good leader. We need you to be a vitamin leader. And we want to all live life, and we all want to be healthy and happy. That's what life is all about. Do you want to meet number 7? Are you ready? All right, let's go for that one. Number 7, the hyper-perfectionist leader. I could hear some voices. We call this one La perfeccionista. This person making a mistake, it's not allowed. Oh, I forgot to add the coffee for the workaholic. I forgot. So the workaholic love to add coffee to their recipe. Now, the perfectionist. This person, you're not allowed to make a mistake. See, the problem with this type of people is that you can never meet the deadline because they're always looking for perfection. And the problem with this is that they not only frustrate their people, the problem with the people who are perfect is that they do not know how to trust their followers. They don't know how to delegate. They have things that they can do or other people can do, but they don't trust, so they prefer to overload themselves with a lot of work and do it themselves, making the company or the organization not to grow because they want to do it all. They want to be in charge. They want to be in control. See, the job of a leader, listen to this. The job of a leader is to do the things that no one can do for him. Everything else, the leader should be able to delegate. That's why you have your people. You got to trust them. Let them make mistakes. It's not about making a mistake every day, but they will learn from that mistake. When you give them that space to growth, they will become better. I remember one time, my daughter was doing the dishes, and I was this kind of person too. I was that perfectionist person. And one day, my daughter was about 7 years old, and I remember that I was teaching her, how to do the dishes, but I was picky, I want to make sure those plates were super clean, and I was like, oh no, she's leaving the plates dirty, I got to go back and clean them again. And I said, okay, I could do it. One day I learned, how can she become better in something if I don't give her the opportunity? She will become better with practice. We got to be patient in the process of training people and developing them. Understanding that everything is a process. To become a great leader, you don't build or you don't become a great leader in just one day. It takes time. Trust your people. Empower them. Believe in them. Let me tell you, your life is going to be so much easier when you allow your people to help you. Why you need to be in charge? You're just making it hard on yourself. You are struggling, you're stressing yourself out for no reason. You have a lot of beautiful people that work with you that you can allow them to help you. But if you want to be in charge, if you want to be the one always, the one that knows everything and everything has to be perfect, your company is not going to grow, and also your people. They cannot maximize, they cannot reach their full potential if you are a perfectionist. This type of people, they have to drink all the time energy drinks. Because that's the only way they can try to keep up with all the work they have to do. Now, let me ask you a quick question. How many of you believe I should drink this? Why not? Why not? So, if this is not good for me, and if this is toxic, why then I should pour my toxicity in someone else's cup? Why? If this is not good for me, and it's not good for you, why we are giving this to some other people? Now, I want to ask you, if you identify yourself with any of the 7 type of toxic leaders, I'm going to give you today the formula to become a vitamin leader, which is based on acting with the heart and leading by example. Everything I just talked to you is in my new book. 17 essential pillars of leadership. If you identify with any of them, please, I'm going to tell you, you have the chance today to be part of that workforce for the leaders that we need for the world that we want. This is how we're going to do. Today, I want to invite you to become optimistic. I want you to be that leader that we want everyone to follow. I want you to support your team. I want you to be there for them. I want you to be patient. I want you to love them. I want you to care for them. Because in order for us to leave a legacy, we must leave it. Today, you could be a vitamin leader. Let's play. Let's play Simon Says one more time. Simon Says to stand up, please. Simon says, if you want to become a vitamin leader and stop the cycle of toxic leader, then clap your hands. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let her know how this has helped you, please. Please. She has given us so much. You know how valuable this is for our betterment. I am so grateful that you joined us today. Celines, thank you for knowing what we needed. Thank you for praying for us and preparing a crystal clear, actionable, that's right, something you could receive with such grace and excellence and clarity, but with power. How often do you have a leader in your midst?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And now you can go and get her book. Let's support our leaders, okay? Now you can go and get her book in the exhibit hall. When I met Celines in El Paso, she was speaking at the Familias Triunfadoras conference. I heard her speak. I'll be honest, she was presenting entirely in Spanish. So my brain was like fried trying to understand everything that she was communicating. But I have purchased books from her and given them to friends and family. And I just want to tell you, particularly for women, but any of us who are doing this work, this is what we mean by transforming the places where we operate. How will we transform the services, right, to make them equitable and culturally appropriate and kind and trauma-informed if we are showing up to work every day in systems and organizations that are toxic? We cannot do it, or we will lose us. We will lose us. And we need you, each and every one of you, and we love you dearly. I hope that this message fed you. I hope it nourished you. I just think it was incredible. Yeah. And some of us who are learning to be leaders, like myself. So I was telling someone earlier, I've never led anything. I mean, I've never been director this, executive this, CEO this. I've never had a leadership, never led anything before this role. I'm learning to be a leader. So remember, we're not looking for perfection. Don't beat yourself up because you see some of these. Don't do that. Don't use it as a weapon against you. Okay? Just hold it up. Just take a look at it. Just keep looking at it. And then tomorrow, maybe it's one thing. right? Just one thing. When you want to critique that document the 6th time, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. Well, I have to. Maybe you don't. Maybe you say, you know what? I trust the team. All right? If the team thinks it's ready to go, you know, and maybe it's just a small step, right? So we're going to encourage ourselves as leaders. Can I just be really honest with you right now? I'm not exactly sure what's next on the agenda. Now look, I've done my best, okay? I'm talking to my team now. I have done my very best. But you know what? I feel like this table is going to help me out. Oh, God, love y'all for sitting right here where I need you to be. Not too long ago, please begin to make your way to the stage. Y'all know what's next. It's good to have help. And more sleep. When I have more sleep, I probably could have read the rest of what I was supposed to do today. So not too long ago, a wonderful, wonderful colleague, friend, mentor, partner of mine, Alex Farhado. But first of all, I just want to acknowledge Alex Farhado and I have been working together for several years. This is the first time we've ever met in person around national vaccine and COVID-19 strategy. We helped to co-found the Community-Based Workforce Alliance. We're steering committee members, and I have to just honor the leadership, the heart, the excellence of Alex Farhado, who's been a great partner and an example for me. But they had some stuff going on. If you guys know El Sol, they are creative. They are nothing without creativity. And so the folks who are coming in front of you right now are about to give us a great gift, okay? Another way to celebrate who we are, what we do, and why we do it. Is there anything else I need to say before y'all got it, right?
No, you're wonderful.
Fantastic. I want y'all to stand to your feet. Stand to your feet. All you who are on the gala dance floor, you know you can get to your feet easy. You ready for something. I see you, Wandy. I see you, Kim. All right? Okay, let's just welcome our CHW guests with an applause. I can't give you anything else, but we love them and we're excited for what you're going to give us.
So good afternoon. Oh my gosh, I feel the energy. I'm so pumped. I'm re-energized. My goodness. It's my first NACHW, and oh my gosh, Texas. I'm a Texan. I'm from here, so welcome, welcome, and I'm so glad to be a part of everybody's journey. So each and every one of you attending this great conference, it's because we take pride in our work. And so like Denise said, this call between her and Alex about, this was in 2022, so it was a great project. And then there was a call from NACHW and asked for some contributors to be a part of this very special project that we're about to introduce to you. And that is a very diverse group of us, as you can see up here on the stage, that were selected to contribute and create this project. All of us represent all the qualities, characteristics, and traits each of us hold doing all the awesome work that CHWs do. Led by El Sol, the Neighborhood Educational Center, they've engaged and deployed highly trained lay workers as community health workers and promotores de salud, research on CHWs and promotores endorsing their effectiveness in areas ranging from improved prenatal care, reduction in child abuse prevention, enhanced social support, and the list goes on, I promise you. And this was to create an anthem, our CHW anthem. This anthem will represent our skills, our talent, our profession. We're making a mark, and we are here making history. So this anthem was created in Spanish and English. We hope that you remember this song every time you are doing our work. Your work, our work. Let it play in our minds and our hearts always. We would like to thank the following CHWs that contributed their experience and talent, represented from 9 states across the U.S. And I will start in no particular order. Andrea Krotzer-Burton from Michigan. Linda Reyes from Michigan. Michaela Trujillo Baxter from New Mexico. Patricia Wilson from Wisconsin. Maria Patricia Rubio from Illinois. Myself, Zenaida Martinez from Texas. Laura Olvera Arechiaga, California. Felisa Miller, I don't know what state, I'm sorry, but you are here as a contributor. Harrietta Harper from Georgia. Azucena Lopez de Nava from California. Aretha Taggart from Alabama. Sonia Gomes, I believe, Texas. Grisilides Saex with Massachusetts. And of course, the El Sol team, Nora Beltran, Alex Fajardo, Nachette Brown, and Rosa Perez. And always remember, we are born, not made. So our work comes from within our hearts and in our minds, and we will keep this forever playing in our hearts and our minds. Now it's time to turn up the music and hear our song in Spanish and English.
We are working for health justice every single day. We are community health workers, born not made. We are working for health justice every single day. We are community health workers, born not made.
Here's our mission, to strengthen our community, working together with love and in unity, all around the world, all around the nation, community transformation.
We are working for health justice every single day. We are community health workers, born not made.
We know firsthand what you're going through. We got lived experience, we've been there too. We got empathy, and here's the best part, we're giving it all our heart.
We are working for health justice every single day. We are community health workers, born not made.
When systems are hard to navigate, when people need someone to advocate, when we see a pattern that needs to be changed, we are community health workers, community health workers.
We are working for health justice every single day. We are community health workers, born not made. We are working for health justice every single day. We are community health workers, born not made.
Por la salud, la equidad y la transformación, ser promotor, promotora es nuestra vocación. Por la salud, la equidad y la transformación, ser promotor, promotora es nuestra pasión. Equidad en la salud es el objetivo, con amor y con paciencia trabaja conmigo, de costa a costa, de mar a mar, transformemos la comunidad. Por la salud, la equidad y la transformación, ser promotor, promotora es nuestra vocación.
Yo te entiendo, créeme que sí, en carne propia también lo viví. Por eso hoy te doy mi comprensión y pongo el corazón, pongo el corazón.
Por la salud, la equidad y la transformación, ser promotor, promotora es nuestra vocación. Porque el sistema es difícil de navegar y la gente necesita quien los pueda apoyar. Tantas cosas que juntos podemos cambiar. Por eso somos promotores, promotores. Por la salud, la equidad y la transformación. Ser promotor, promotora es nuestra vocación. Por la salud, la equidad y la transformación. Ser promotor, promotora es nuestra pasión.
Thank you very much, everybody. We do have a link over to the YouTube video so you can join this in. We ask that you promote it around your organization. This will be back out at the vendor booth, so if you want to pass by and take a look at it if we're not here. Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay, so I saw y'all getting into it, and some of you got out of your seats to dance to it too. I saw y'all on the dance floor last night, so I know you got some moves, right? So right here, right now, at the NACHW Unity Conference, we are launching the CHW Anthem nationwide. Woo! Woo! So we are inviting you to create your own dance moves to the anthem and post it on your social media platforms. We want you to use this anthem. Use it in your meetings, your staff meetings, your trainings, your orientations, your community events, your key informant meetings, right? Those town hall meetings. Use it, use it, use it. We want the world to know that CHWs are here to stay. But here's the caveat. You must include the hashtag. The hashtag is, get ready to write this down. The hashtag is hashtag CHWBORNNOTMADE. CHW, born not made. So that way, we can all know where it came from. We all know, and it's all connected, right? We want you to tag us at El Sol, so we can follow you and like those posts, right? So we connect with each other and we bridge that communication within the community. So that way, this is a great opportunity to let the world know who we are and what is within our heart to do this job, right? So let's get creative and spread the good news. And those moves I saw over here on the dance floor, right? So let's acknowledge the states one more time that took part in creating this anthem. Give it up for California! Woo! Is Wisconsin in the house? Let's hear it for Alabama. Thank you, Florida. Where you at? Woo woo! Let's give it up for the state of Texas. Now, is Georgia in the house? Whoop, whoop. Let's go, Michigan. Where you at? And last but not least, give it up for Illinois. You all are awesome. I have been truly blessed to be here for the first time. This has been an amazing experience. Thank you in advance for your participation. You might say, Mrs. Brown, well, how do we get access to the songs? I'm going to get there right now. Thank you for stopping by the El Sol booth downstairs. We are launching the CHW Learning Hub as well. So there's a twofold launch. So you all were able to register for the CHW Learning Hub. If you look on your tables there in the center, you will find this little slip right here. Yes, the CHW Learning Hub is wonderful. It has been in works for only a month, but of course it took a lot of pre-organization and a lot of organization. So it features a digital and printable tools to enhance our skill set, interactive games, forums, absolutely, a personal digital portfolio, blogs, assessment, games for our gamers, and more. So we want you to take the opportunity just now to scan that QR code and register. Create your username and your password and register for the CHW Learning Hub. You will find the links to the songs right inside there. Okay, so you will find the English and the Spanish version in the CHW Learning Hub once you go ahead and register there. So yes, we have 5 winners of this beautiful, beautiful self-reflection journal. So we all know that as community health workers, we can experience that vicarious trauma, right? And we might experience a lot of it post-pandemic, pre-pandemic, present pandemic, or what have you, right? So just like an engine needs a tune-up, so do we. So this is a great way to enhance those skills and diffuse that vicarious trauma. This journal was created by CHWs for CHWs. It is absolutely beautiful, you all. So we have 5 winners that are walking home with this journal today. Winner, winner, chicken dinner number 1. Veronica Rodriguez, are you here? Veronica Rodriguez. Okay. We have Lucy Nugent. And excuse me. I do take pride in pronouncing names correctly because my name is one that doesn't get pronounced that correctly. So, Miss Lucy Nguyen, are you here? Come on down. Your journal is right here to the front. We have Michelle Thompson. Are you here, dear? If you are here, just come on down to the front. We have Quanisha Peoples. Is Quanisha in the house? All right, if you here, come on down. You're a winner, chicken dinner. Marangali Cornelio. Are you here? Woo! Come on, princess. Come on down and get your journal, sweetie. Thank you so very much, very much for your hearts and for your leadership. It's amazing, and have a great rest of your day. I love you like shrimp fried rice.